What's the cost of an IVF cycle? Everyone knows that IVF is an expensive treatment, and because there's no certainty you're going to get pregnant in the first IVF cycle, you may need to do 2 or 3 cycles, which means the costs are definitely going to add up. It's an important question, but it's a simple question to ask, but often a very difficult one to get an honest, reliable answer. Partly because doctors are so keen to get patients to sign up for an IVF cycle that they lie all the time about what the costs are going to be. So a standard ploy which a lot of IVF clinics use, especially those who advertise in newspapers, is to say something like, oh, an IVF cycle is only 25,000 rupees at our clinic. Patients get excited. 25,000? That's something I can afford. And it's only afterwards, when they've signed up and actually started the treatment, that the doctor tells them, yes, the IVF cycle is only 25,000, but you're going to have to pay extra for the injections, you're going to have to pay extra for the scans, you're going to have to pay extra for the blood tests, you're going to have to pay extra for this, that, and the other, and that. All these are add-on treatments which aren't explained to patients in the first. And that's why patients get so upset and angry, because they end up paying far more than what they were mentally prepared for. They get sticker shock, and I think that's completely unethical and unfair. And the truth is that you need to ask good questions if you want honest answers. It's a good idea to ask the doctor to break up the costs. You get a completely itemized bill as to what your costs are going to be. Specifically ask, are there any hidden costs at all? And that's a big advantage for going to IVF clinics which offer a package cost, which is all inclusive, which includes all the medical treatment costs such as scans, anesthesia, egg pickups, laboratory expenses, so you're not surprised afterwards. No matter what you do, you still may end up spending far more than you were prepared for. Yes, and this can happen because after all, no one can predict in advance how much your injections are going to cost, for example. But at least if you ask good quality questions, you will get good quality answers. But also remember that cost doesn't just mean financial cost. There is also an emotional cost of doing an IVF cycle. You need to be prepared for that. It can be quite a rough journey, especially when it fails and you go to pieces. And that's why it's not just the cost of doing the treatment, it's also the cost of a baby you need to factor. And that's why sometimes clinics which have higher success rates may actually charge you more for an IVF cycle, but they may be far more cost effective because the cost per baby in those clinics will be far less as compared to cheaper clinics which will charge you less upfront but will have a lower pregnancy rate, which means you'll end up paying a lot more. And finally, don't forget to include the cost of failure. And that actually is the biggest cost of an IVF cycle, is that in spite of the fact that you did the IVF cycle, you may still end up with nothing at all. And that's why selecting a good clinic makes such a big difference, because at least you have peace of mind. Fine, I did my best. I couldn't have done anything more. No doctor in the world could have done anything more. So that you can live with that peace of mind that you didn't leave any stone unturned in your quest for a baby. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm Dr. Malpani. I'm an IVF specialist. I'm happy to give you a free second opinion. Our website is www.drmalpani.com. See you there.